The film opens in the forests of Finland, where a young girl named Aliyia is fleeing through the trees, pursued not by strangers, but by members of her own family. Desperate to escape, she dives into a lake, but before she can disappear beneath the surface, the men catch up and pull her out. We then shift scenes to a bank, where a man named Rex is quietly waiting in line. His real reason for being there? To see Maddie, a woman he clearly has feelings for. But their brief moment is shattered when a group of armed robbers storms the building and kills a security guard, turning the calm environment into chaos. In the midst of the panic, Rex notices a gun inside a woman's handbag. She's too terrified to act. Tension rises as Rex struggles to keep his composure. Then, in a twist of fate, the handbag is thrown and lands right on Rex's lap. Without explanation, the next scene jumps to a courtroom. Rex now stands trial, accused of killing all the bank robbers. Despite having saved countless lives and being hailed a hero, the judge sentences him to 8 years in prison. Fast forward nearly a decade. Rex is released. He stares at a magazine cover featuring his own face. The world still sees him as a hero. But fame isn't comforting. Instead, it brings constant attention. Reporters trail him, and strangers can't seem to leave him alone. This unrelenting spotlight starts to unravel him. A darker, more emotional version of himself, his alter ego, manifests and begins confronting him in increasingly vivid hallucinations. One moment, he imagines himself flipping over his desk in rage, only to realize it's just in his head. Although widely admired, Rex is still scorned by some who think of him as mentally unstable. Overwhelmed, he confides in a friend, expressing how suffocating his life has become. Eventually, Rex makes a radical decision. He'll leave the city and move to Finland. Why Finland? Because during a moment of boredom in prison, he flicked a spitball that landed on Finland in a magazine. We're back in the forest. Now a man is being chased, eerily similar to the opening scene. The people behind him resemble Aliyya's pursuers, and it's clear this is happening in Finland, Rex's chosen refuge. Suddenly, the man is yanked away by a terrifying, unseen force. Meanwhile, Rex arrives at the airport. Once again, people start filming him. A man and woman, clearly suspicious, watch his every move. Feeling overwhelmed, Rex escapes to the restroom, only to find the strange man already there, staring at him creepily. When he returns, the woman flashes a disturbing smile. Upon arriving in Finland, Rex hails a taxi. A driver cuts the line and insists he take him. As Rex settles in, the driver releases knockout gas. Everything goes dark. We cut to a warm-looking home where a family is preparing dinner, completely unsuspecting on the surface. But in the basement lies Rex, kidnapped, tied up, and missing part of his leg. As he wakes up in agony, he tries to scream, only to be silenced by the voice of his own conscience. This inner voice urges him to stay quiet and helps him process the trauma. Unlike Rex, his conscience is sharper, colder, and disturbingly logical. It deduces that the kidnappers are the strange couple from the airport. Seeing Rex in tears, the conscience devises a survival plan. If the kidnappers return, Rex should fake being unconscious. Observing the surroundings, bicycles, sleeping quarters, the conscience assumes it's a family of abductors. Upstairs, the family sleeps, except for their youngest child, Aliyia, who grows curious about the man they've imprisoned. Down below, Rex, his hand still bound, begins desperately trying to gnaw through the rope with his teeth. Meanwhile, the youngest member of the family, Aliyia, makes his way into the basement, where Rex is still being held captive. As soon as Rex hears someone approaching, he plays dead, only to realize it's just a child. That's when an idea sparks. Use the boy as leverage to escape. He lures Aliyia closer with gentle words, then suddenly uses his thighs to trap him and knocks him out with a swift kick from his remaining leg. Not long after, the boy's sister notices he's missing from bed. She heads to the basement to check, and it's revealed that this girl is none other than Aliyia, the same one who once fled from men in the forest. Now we understand, it's her own family who has captured Rex. In a panic, Rex threatens to kill the boy if Aliyia makes a move against him. But in his desperation, He loses control and drops Olavi, losing his only bargaining chip. When the family finds Olavi unconscious, they rush him to the hospital. Aliyia is blamed, and her mother slaps her, thinking she harmed her brother. This moment shows us something crucial. Aliyia is different. She doesn't share the same twisted values as her family. For Rex, this could be his way out. Later, when the family is gone, Aliyia returns to the basement. She cleans Rex's wound and tends to his leg. In a vulnerable moment, she confesses her feelings for him. Infatuated, perhaps imagining a life together. Then she opens up about her family's dark secret. Her eldest brother suffers from an uncontrollable disorder, an insatiable craving for human flesh that began in infancy, when he bit their father. Since then, the family has been abducting victims to feed him. If he didn't like the taste, they'd simply find someone else. Aliyia, horrified by it all, tried to escape several times, but was always caught, and eventually locked in a wooden cage built by her own father. Moved by Rex's pain, Aliyia leaves a knife on the floor and tells him to free himself. But just as Rex reaches the blade and begins to cut the ropes, her three brothers burst in, ready to finish him off. Thinking quickly, Rex pretends to be unconscious again. The trick works. They hold off. Watching all this unfold, Rex's conscience, more furious than ever, seethes inside him. It's now clear, this family has chosen the wrong man to mess with. The brothers soon realize Rex's leg has been treated and suspect Aliyia. They storm upstairs to confront her, but Aliyia, anticipating this, hides back in the basement. Still, one of the brothers finds her and drags her away. Back with Rex, he's injected with something that sends him into hysterical laughter. And with that, we're taken back in time to 8 years earlier, witnessing the full horror of what really happened during the bank robbery. This wasn't just self-defense. Rex, driven by his violent alter ego, slaughtered the robbers with merciless efficiency. When he went to rescue Maddie, his crush, the robbers were already terrified, not of being stopped, but of Rex's willingness to kill without hesitation. In a final act, Rex shot the last robber, but the stray bullet struck a cabinet, where a terrified employee was hiding. She died instantly. That tragic mistake cost him his freedom. Despite saving many, the unintended death sealed his fate. And over the long years in prison, Maddie moved on, unable to wait for him any longer. Back in the present, Rex snaps out of unconsciousness, only to realize that one of the brothers is in the middle of amputating his leg. In a burst of rage, Rex kicks him away. The man stumbles off to fetch more anesthetic. Wasting no time, Rex grabs the knife Aliyia left behind and slices through his bindings. When the brother returns, Rex stabs him in the ear, killing him instantly. Now free, Rex begins searching the basement for anything that might help him escape. He finds some makeshift tools, and even modifies a golf club to use as a prosthetic leg. With great effort, he climbs the stairs, dragging himself up. His conscience urges him not to leave Aliyia behind. Despite everything, she risked her life to help him. Rex finally steps outside, but in his mind, the voice of his conscience echoes once again, reminding him this isn't over. Whatever happens next, they'll face it together. When the parents return home from the hospital, they're immediately alarmed by the sight of blood splattered across the front of their house. Racing inside, they find their children still asleep. Furious, the parents wake them and scold them for allowing Rex to escape, knowing that he might return with law enforcement. In a panic, they begin to prepare for a quick getaway. But it's already too late. Unbeknownst to them, Rex has been hiding beneath the dining table, waiting for the perfect moment. He strikes without mercy. Armed with a nail gun, he eliminates them one by one. When he turns the weapon on the mother, the nail gun clicks empty. Thinking fast, he swings his modified golf club leg and knocks her out with a brutal blow to the head. One of the sons rushes to avenge her, but Rex reacts faster, hurling a knife into the boy's chest. He collapses, lifeless. At that moment, Aliyia, fully embracing the violence surrounding her, kills her own mother as she stirs back into consciousness. But the nightmare is not over yet. There's still one final threat. The eldest brother, the family's monstrous cannibal, emerges, lumbering down the stairs like a beast awakened. A brutal showdown begins between Rex and the hulking figure. In the chaos, Rex grabs onto the refrigerator door for support, only to spot something shocking inside, a preserved piece of his own amputated leg. A grin of satisfaction spreads across his face. At least it hadn't been eaten. He pulls the leg from the fridge and shoves it into the cannibal's gaping mouth, silencing him for good. With the horrors behind them, Rex and Aliyia leave Finland behind and start a new life together in America. Sometime later, they're seen enjoying a night out with friends. But when one of the women shows a bit too much interest in Rex, Aliya's expression shifts. Jealousy brews. And then we see it, Aliyia has an alter ego, too. Just like Rex, she envisions violently eliminating the woman. It becomes clear, these two are bonded not just by survival, but by the darkness they both carry inside. Meanwhile, far away, the youngest surviving member of Aliya's family recovers from his injuries. But the pain of loss still burns within him. With cold resolve in his eyes, he begins planning his revenge. The nightmare may be over, but the cycle of vengeance has only just begun. If you enjoyed this intense and twisted journey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more dark movie recaps and thrilling stories. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss what's coming next, because some nightmares are just getting started.